for Congress in Virginia's 2nd Congressional District. He's been previously endorsed by U.S. Senator Rand Paul, and we welcome here now. Hi, Jarome. How are you doing?
Hi, Michelle. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, on your first inaugural run, you made an immigration moratorium a key part of your agenda. In just 2 short years, of course, it has now taken off, this idea of an immigration moratorium, where it used to be kind of third rail and radioactive. Why do you think it's become now something that is mainstream?
Well, I think it's mainstream now because everyone's waking up. People are seeing what's happening at the southern border now, again, with President Biden or Joe Biden taking office, and they can see the difference between what President Trump did by closing the borders and putting a stop to the illegal immigration. And yeah, it was toxic, and I actually got suspended by Twitter for 2 weeks prior to my election because of my stance in my immigration moratorium.
Yeah, and of course, many America First patriots continue to be discriminated against, you along with many others who are carrying this banner. Can you define the parameters of what you mean by an immigration moratorium? Because in the mainstream of the establishment Republican Party, it's been acceptable to talk about illegal immigration, but not necessarily putting limits on the flow of all of the low-wage, cheap tech workers, for example, who are imported into this country, as well as other workers through other quote-unquote legal means.
Right. Well, actually, part of that was the stopping the legal cheap visa labor programs as well. So not only the illegal, but the legal immigration as well. I mean, because when you look at the H-1B programs, the H-2B, the H-4EAD, the OPT, the L-1, the J-1, and I can go on and on and on, it brings in millions of legal immigrants to this country, and it really hurts the American worker. It hurts college students, well, OPT, because the OPT from foreign nations, they come over here and actually go to college for free, and then they end up taking these skilled jobs, and so our college graduates don't have high-tech paying jobs, and this includes their spouses. They can bring their spouses and their dependents over, and then the spouses end up taking jobs away from the American workers as well, and really to really put a top on it, basically the illegal immigrants generally work for low wages, okay? I mean, and the very jobs that so many Black Americans tend to work. It really hurts Black America and brown America. The legal immigrants, they did it the right way. It really hurts them the worst.
Yeah, that's an interesting point about the impact of mass migration, particularly on Black Americans, Black citizens. And you can go decades back. A real heroine of mine was Barbara Jordan. She was a Democrat congresswoman from Texas, but one of the most outspoken critics of mass migration, and particularly these kinds of legal foreign worker programs. Can you talk more about your congressional district and why an immigration moratorium is particularly important to the 2nd District and Virginia in general, which of course has been quite transformed by mass migration, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And my district includes the Eastern Shore, and there's a lot of workers out of work on the Eastern Shore. And these companies, they'll bring in the low-skilled workers to work the farms and things like that. And it doesn't give the opportunity for the teenagers and for the young Americans up on the Eastern Shore to work. I mean, but likewise, both aliens and Blacks, we tend to reside in the major cities. So taken together, this means that the migrants and the Black Americans, we compete directly for the same jobs, and also the low-skilled white Americans as well, like up on the Eastern Shore. And this reduces the wages and employment opportunities. So unfortunately, we fare far worse in a head-to-head struggle because the illegal aliens that often work under the table for less than minimum wage and forego, all the expensive, employer-provided health care plans, they undercut the labor market and mandated floor, and they pull the rug out of really from under the American worker.
Yeah. A lot of your supporters and people who follow you on social media, as well as my viewers and readers over the years, completely understand that demographics is destiny. And I'm sure that you have gotten all of the slings and arrows of being called a racist, or I chuckle at this because I'm sure both of us have been subjected to this, called white supremacists for advocating a pause on immigration. What do you say in response to those people who say that somehow you and I are traitors to our race for defending the American nation?
Yeah, right. I get that a lot, like like you say, like you do. And here's the thing: I say, walk in my shoes. Go to the cities where I'm from and look at the blight. Look at the people that's standing on the corners. Look at the people that don't have jobs. And you look at all of the entrepreneurs. Like I have one of my good friends in Virginia. He's a general contractor, and he even stated that before President Trump, he couldn't find work because all of the Hispanics were taking over all the jobs because they'll live in one house, they'll share bills, and they will undercut the American worker as far as what they charge. And of course, people want cheap labor and cheap work because Americans all want to save money. But this does harm to the American contractor, to the black, and to the and I can't say this enough, to the Hispanic workers and the legal Hispanic people. They did it the right way. They don't like the illegal immigration no more than we do.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Well, we thank you for advocating for America First, and we'll be following your congressional campaign closely. Jarome Bell, running for Congress in Virginia's 2nd Congressional District. Thanks, Jarome.
Thanks for having me, Michelle. Appreciate it.
You bet.